I think for a lot of people that I work with, and let's just imagine this for a second. This like a bit of a holy grail for a lot of people I work with. Imagine if you wanted to eat nutritious foods. And imagine if you didn't want to eat less nutritious foods. That'd be pretty cool, huh? Okay, here's how it happens. So, firstly, let me tell you a story about Narelle Stratford, one of my supervisors, who she gets like 2 mentions in my book. And the first mention is when Narelle was such a lovely lady, and it was so cool that Narelle was actually at my book launch, which is the coolest thing. I hadn't seen her in like 10 years. Um, but she was so lovely. She would never let me pay for supervision. So she was my supervisor. And normally, like, you pay your supervisor if they're outside the uni. She'd never let me do that. But she insisted that we go to various new cafes every time we do supervision. She wouldn't even let me pay for it. She paid for it. Um, but one day we were at the deli and Narelle had this crafty way of like, it wasn't even crafty. It was just this really cool, special, slightly crafty way of teaching you things when you didn't know you were getting taught things. So we're there at the deli and we're looking in the glass with all the different foods. And she's like, Glenn, how will all of these foods make you feel? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you mean? And she's like, well, intuitive eaters have this ability to be able to look at food. And yeah, they absolutely consider the taste and the pleasure and what they want to eat. But she said they can look at food and understand and know how it's going to make them feel half an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours later. Intuitive eaters can see into the future. This is the food Jedi power. They can look at the foods and go, oh, that's going to make me feel like this, and that's going to make me feel like this. Without even thinking too hard about it, they can go, oh, that food's going to make me feel refreshed and energized and light. And this food's going to make me feel sluggish and tired and like, either super full or hungry half an hour later. They know. And this is actually not. And Stacey said, gosh, I'd love to be able to focus and know how I was going to feel after eating food physically and mentally. Well, let me show you how to do it. It's actually super duper easy. The wisdom comes from observing. So mindfully observing how different food choices make you feel. Not judging. When you judge a food as good, you're going to feel good after eating it. When you judge a food as bad, you're going to feel bad after eating it, but actually observing. And here I think is the secret sauce, because there's a huge difference, a subtle but a very important difference between judging a food as good and bad and observing how it makes you feel. So when you develop over time through some mindfulness, you notice how much you eat, you notice what you eat, and you notice how that affects your body. You create this this intuitive understanding through thousands of little pairings. You're like, okay, when I eat this, this makes me feel this way. When I eat this, this makes me feel this way. And through this lived experience, you create this intuition. That's why we call it intuitive eating. It doesn't come from a rule. This food is a good food. This food is a weight loss food. It comes from your own understanding. Now, we know how well we can rebel against rules. But I think, Freud said the most basic psychology, all of our motivations are towards pleasure or away from pain. And when we can realize in real time, this food choice equals feeling good we will gravitate towards those food choices naturally. Not because the food is good, but because we know through our learned experience that it makes us feel that way. And we go, this food, I don't want to eat that because that makes me feel bad. Not because it is bad, because I've learned from my experience, my observations, not anyone else's body, not what I've read in a book, not what my doctor told me, but my lived experience, which we never forget, that's going to make me feel bad. Then we will start to gravitate away from those food choices. So, how do we do it? You can just do the Samba way and just be mindful, just be curious, just be playful. You're like, okay, well, how's this food going to make me feel? The crazy thing when you do this is that you will learn things that are like no-brainers. You will realize that you didn't know how food made you feel. I've talked about this example before. I didn't realize that after eating breakfast and lunch every day, I was feeling sluggish until I practiced intuitive eating and went, whoa, some things have to change. Now my breakfast is a lot smaller and my lunch is more nutritious. Why? Because I want to feel better. That's the sole reason. Yep, it's healthier for me. Yep, I'm eating less calories, but that's not why I do it. I do it because I want to feel good.